Om Sri Sai Ram, offering pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. I am trying to recite meaning of shlokas 16 and 17 of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, namely Jnāna Vijñāna Yog. Sai Ram, you may please listen till the end, and if you are pleased, you may please subscribe to this channel by using the given link. Now to begin with sloka 16. Chatur-vidha bhajante mam janah sukritino rjuna arto jijnasur artharthi jnani bharatarshhabha. The translation of this is: best amongst the Bharatas, four kinds of pious people engage in my devotion: the distressed, the seekers of knowledge, the seekers of worldly possessions, and those who are situated in knowledge. The commentary follows. In the previous verse, Sri Krishna described the four categories of people who do not surrender to him. Now he describes the other four kinds who take refuge in him. The first one, the distressed, those who find that their pot of worldly miseries is overflowing and they are unable to cope with them, conclude that it is futile running after the world, thus decide to take shelter in God. Similarly, those who find that the worldly supports fail to protect them turn to God for protection. An apt example in the Mahabharata was Draupadi's surrender to Sri Krishna when Duryodhana, Dushasana tried to dishonor her in the courtroom of Hastinapur. Initially, she expected her husbands would protect her, but they did not. She pleaded the elders in the courtroom, Bhishma, Vidur, Dhritarashtra, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, etc. However, everyone remained speechless when cruel Dushasana tried to disrobe her. She clenched her sari with her teeth and tried to protect her honor with her own strength. But her teeth could not hold on to the sari for long. They gave into Dushasana's strength. She was helpless and finally called out to Sri Krishna for help. It was at this point that she surrendered completely to God and was not relying on anyone or her own strength for protection. Sri Krishna reciprocated immediately and intervened. Now, how much ever Dushasana pulled Draupadi's sari kept extending, and very soon there was a huge pile of cloth in the middle of the courtroom. Dushasana was unable to disrobe Draupadi's. Exhausted, he gave up. Such was the power of God's protection, but it came only when Draupadi surrendered completely. The second type of people, the knowledge seekers. There are some people who have heard about the opulence of God and His spiritual realm. Thus, they are curious to know all about God and try to seek through knowledge. The seekers of worldly possessions. Some people are clear about what they want and take the shelter of God because they are convinced that only God can provide what they are seeking. King Dhruva is an apt example. When Dhruva was a small boy, he felt neglected by his father, King Uttanapada. Disheartened, he went into the forest and did penance to please God. He wanted to become more powerful than his father. But as his devotion grew, he realized that God possessed the priceless jewel, divine love, and what he was seeking like a broken pieces of glass. Therefore, when pleased with his devotion, God gave him darshan. He requested God to bestow upon him selfless, pure love. The fourth type of people, those situated in knowledge. Lastly, those souls who have understood the truth that they are tiny parts of God. Such people engage in devotion with the intent that it is their eternal duty to love and serve Him. Sri Krishna calls them the fourth kind of devotees. Now, the meaning of Shloka 17 of chapter 7. Tesham jnani nityayukta ekabhaktirvishishyate priyo hi jnaninotyartham aham sacha mama priyaha. The translation of this is, amongst these I consider than to be the highest who worships me with knowledge and are steadfastly and exclusively devoted to me. I am very dear to them and they are very dear to me. Now the commentary is follows. Sri Krishna says in this verse that those who are seeking God in distress for worldly gains or out of curiosity, etc., are yet to possess selfless devotion. Gradually, in process of devotion, their hearts become pure and they realize their eternal relationship with God. Then they develop selfless, exclusive and incessant devotion towards Him. Now that they have the knowledge that the happiness of the world is temporary and God is the source of eternal bliss, they neither crave for favorable circumstances nor lament over reversals in the world. They become situated in selfless devotion with complete self-surrender, and for their divine beloved they are willing to offer in fire of divine love. Sri Krishna declares that such devotees are dearest to him. Sai Ram.